Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm John.
And we're the Geezers on the Go.
Go, go, go.
This time we're at Cathedral Caverns State Park, tucked into the northeast corner of Alabama in the foothills of the Appalachians. The caverns are just southeast of Woodville and were declared a National Natural Landmark in 1972. The campground has a brand new loop of 25 full hookup sites, as well as 11 more sites in an older loop. There are also 4 nearby cabins and a couple of primitive backcountry areas for tents.
There's no hiding the main attraction to the park, though. It's the caverns, and the only way I can think to describe them is spectacular. Guided tours only in the caves. And we'll wind up our trip with a far-out visit to the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, about 30 miles away. It's a must-see for all you Trekkies out there.
We're here at Cathedral Caverns State Park in Woodville, Alabama. It's a fairly new campground. This loop that we're in is full hookups, and they said that it only opened within the past years, which is kind of different for us because most campgrounds we've gone to were built by the CCC in the 30s, so this one was just built now in the 2020s. So I could say it has full hookups. It has gravel sites, has a nice pad here. Ours has some nice trees behind it. Pretty easy to get into, one of the few that we've had no leveling issues. And as you see behind here, where all the hookups are. And we're not too close to the ones behind us. Some of the sites are kind of a strange layout, and we'll show you that. We'll take a walk around the loop. We'll show you first some of the ones that are right next to us. This is, I think, 16 and 17 aren't too bad. They're nice and flat. And the one around the corner here, 18. Only problem is I see some of these is that when you're in your site, you're just facing out to the road. I would sort of rather face into the trees, but that's me. And it looked like they put some thought into this, but they could have put in a little bit more, because some of the ones, they have these crazy little, a couple of them pull-throughs that are kind of odd. This one's 18. This one's not too bad. At least you got some grass and stuff behind you. But let's take a walk down a little farther. This loop, as with the full hookups, has 25 sites. These are 24, 22, 23, and 24, but they're all kind of close together. I don't know if I would like that too much. This is the last one, 25, which wouldn't be a bad spot. But your picnic table is sort of right out here in the open. I'd rather be facing the trees. It's a very pretty views here as you come into the park. And there is a gate here, but they do give you a code so that if you come in after hours, you can get in, unlike some of the last places we were at, some COE campgrounds. Once they lock the gate, you're out of luck till the morning. And as you come in here, there's two loops. The loop to the right here has full hookups, and that's the newer part of the park. And then down the other way, we'll check that out later, is sites with just water and electric. That's the older part. But these sites 1 through 25 are kind of new, only opening within the last year or so. This is site number 1. Over here, that's the host. And as you walk up, you'll go up a little hill, and we're up at the top of the loop at 15. Number 4 wouldn't be bad, because at least you back up to some trees and stuff. And maybe I guess that's number 6. But the ones over here, they're kind of close together. Maybe number 1 at least gives you some space. And number 5 here, at least you got something that looks out into the big field over there. As we come up the loop into the park, again, number 7 wouldn't be bad because you look out to that big field and you start to come up the hill. They have varying degrees of space, but I said most of the ones up on this side look like all your viewing is the road instead of the nice trees. And this one, let's see, what do we have over here? It's number 9. And let's make our way up here. This was, I said, one of these kind of strange ones, 9 and 11. They're both pull-throughs, but they share a common driveway at the end, which this one's not too bad, but I'm not sure I'd want to have that table looking into that guy's window. 13 and 14 are also kind of a little strange. These also are sort of pull-throughs, but this guy's is here and that guy is there, and this one sort of pulls around that way, and the other one's up there on the top, and you can pull down. But if this guy comes in first, your pull through over here on number 14 becomes a back end. And as we finish our tour, here's us back again, and I think again we have one of the nicer sites because at least we can back up to the trees and have some grass. If it just quit raining yesterday, be super windy today, we could have fun. Right at the front of the campground there appears to be, I guess that's a little picnic area. There's one lone table here running along this little, I guess it's seasonal creek from when it rains. And I guess you could come up here and play some ball, frisbee. And another spot right before you turn in to get into the main part of the campground and the caverns, there's a little parking area, and that goes out into some trails out there to the woods. And then right here, if you have some kids, there's a climbing place. No real other playground accessories, but just that one climbing pod.
We're coming into the old part of the campground right now. This is all gravel roads, gravel paths, and these back here have just water and electric. Sites 26 through 36, right, Joe? These along this side are mostly tent camping sites, and when we get around to the other side, there'll be some pull-throughs. Unlike the full hookup side, we have a bathhouse up here. And also the laundry room for the entire campground is up here.
And it's brand new, all brand new machines in there.
Oh, brand new machines. Nothing like brand new machinery, right, Jill?
Right. And right in the middle here is where these are all pull-throughs, and they also have water and electric. And they're just sort of okay. They're kind of close together.
A little pop-up there.
And easy to get in and out of. Probably the best one would be this last one, which is site number 27, because it's got some trees behind you, but that looks like it's where the trees are. It's actually a tent site, I guess. There's a picnic table and a fire ring. As you come out of that second loop, which just has the water and electric, there is a little dump station there, so you can dump all your black and gray water. Right before you turn in to go to the regular camping area, you turn to the right, and there's this little open space down here with a parking lot, and you can go tent camping. There's a couple little tables back there, and I guess it's sort of first come, first serve, find a spot. This little area I just saw a sign, it's called the Oasis.
These are the cabins of the caverns. That one's called the Grotto. They have other names like Spelunker Bunker and
Big Rock.
Yeah, that's Spelunker Bunker. That one's Big Rock. I think there's 4 total in that, and one in the middle of this little bitty loop here. These are not really part of the state park. They're split off and run by a different company.
But they look like they have heat and air conditioning, so that's pretty good.
They are, I got the little guide here says they're part of Vista Recreation. But, I mean, they're not, you know, I've seen better locations, but the difference here is these are right near the caverns, and if you're visiting the caverns, it's a very convenient spot to visit from.
There's a little trail that runs right behind where the actual caverns are, which are right there, and where the little office is, right there. And I was told it was kind of a nice little walkway. It's not real long, so I thought, well, I'm going to give it a try. So, making my way down the red trail. It's a nice day today. It's just about mid-April. Not sure where that service road goes, but there's I guess when it's water here, there's that nice creek all here, but it sort of tells me I'm supposed to go this way towards the red trail. And this basically runs along this little creek bed where there's no water. But let's take a look down here. And some cool rock formations down here. Really nice little walk back here. You're just hardly any distance from the visitor center here. And you could just come here and have a quick little walk. Coming up from this trail, there's some more rocks here and a little observation tower up above here. And that was a fun little walk. Easy for just about anybody, including an old geezer like me.
I think this is one of the newest state parks we've ever stayed in.
I think so too. Normally we stay in state parks that were opened in the 30s by the CCC, but this one was built only like 2 years ago, and it has 25 full hookup sites, water, electric, and sewer. There is one other older little campground at the other end, and it just has water and electric.
Yeah, the state park itself opened in 1980s.
I think 87, and it's mostly was open because of the attraction that's here.
Well, yeah, Cathedral Caverns, and we'll get to that later, but I just wanted to note where this place is. It's really a picturesque location. We're sitting sort of in the foothills of the
Appalachians?
Yeah. I think it's the Appalachians, part of the Appalachians, in northeast Alabama, right near both Tennessee and Georgia.
But also not that far from Huntsville either.
Yeah, and Huntsville, we took a trip into there. It's about 30 miles away because we wanted to see the U.S. Space and Rocket Center where Wernher von Braun, you know, basically developed our rocket program in this country.
And in Alabama, it's sometimes called Rocket City, Huntsville. And there's a lot of exhibits you can go see of the space program, most of which we probably lived through since we're so old and geezers. But
yeah. Mercury, wasn't that yesterday?
Yeah. But it's a cool place. And what else did we visit, John?
Well, we went obviously went to Cathedral Caverns, which is we've been to the Carlsbad in New Mexico, and they're you know, granted they're bigger. But these were pretty darn impressive, and we had a lot of fun on that tour, didn't we?
We had a nice tour guide, and it's kind of interesting thing that it's almost the whole front of it is almost a big natural opening that was sort of covered by trees, and the guy found it in the late 30s. I think.
Yeah, what was the guy's name?
Gurley.
Gurley, yeah.
Mr. Gurley.
It's about a mile and a half in and out, and it's kind of hilly, so not everybody can make that tour, but we were lucky enough. The lady took us in, the tour guide took us in on a golf cart.
So we were lucky, but it's a beautiful place and I wouldn't miss it. The cave mouth is about 25 feet high and 125 feet wide. It's considered the largest commercial cave opening in the world. The state park opened in May of 2000 and almost immediately gained worldwide recognition because of the caverns. It's a natural wonderland with 2 miles of tourist trails and a 3-acre stalagmite forest. Here we go, down into the caves. The cave, once the home of prehistoric Americans, was rediscovered in the 1950s by a man named Jay Gurley, who bought it and quickly opened it to the public. It was Gurley who started the actual cave exploration and found one of the world's largest stalagmites, Goliath, 45 feet tall and 243 feet around.
I would like to see an expression on Mr. Gurley's face the first time he saw it.
All right, we're on the Jay Gurley Bridge now, and this was dedicated to the state, I mean to Mr. Gurley by the state, and they completed it in late 1996. I'm sure you've already looked over and noticed we've got water underneath us. That was named Mystery River by Mr. Gurley because he originally had no idea where the water came from or where it went. These strawberries. Okay, we're at our first flowstone wall. This one is called a frozen waterfall. You can understand why. It looks like one. But it is formed from continuous flowing water over rocks. Just like a waterfall.
All right, we're headed into the U.S. Space and Rocket Center here in Huntsville, Alabama.
And actually it says Huntsville was before there was any kind of a big space program at all in the United States. This is where they started to build the missiles. It says it became the birthplace for American moon rocket here in Huntsville. They call it Rocket City.
Rocket City was an easy 30-mile drive from our campground, and the night before we left, I felt like a kid going to Disneyland. It's billed as the world's largest space museum, and it marks the spot where we developed the rockets that would eventually take us to outer space.
The really cool thing here, and you can hear the noise in the background, is they have all these different things that kids can go and try, and big kids too probably. You can go in and see what it's like to be in outer space. This is actually the Apollo 16 command module that went to the moon in April of 1972. Could you imagine being in those little seats in there, huh? Wow, you could see the burn marks on the outside. Little black and stuff. Wow, all the way to the moon and back, and here in Huntsville, Alabama. We're here, this is Saturn 1. Boop, boop, boop. And what about it, John?
Well, it's the first rocket that we built that was designed solely for space exploration.
Oh, look at these rocket boosters on the bottom there. That's something. I think at one time you probably could walk around underneath it, but I think they're doing some renovations here, but that's okay.
And there's an interesting piece of non-space machinery up there called an excavator, a Komatsu excavator. It was the Saturn V that took us to the moon and launched our space station. It was flown until 1973 and is still the most powerful rocket we have ever built. Well, there's Jill over there by the Saturn V rocket. Just to give you a little perspective of how big this thing is. Of course, we're going to kind of lose Jill as we go up and up and up and up and up a little farther and up some more and up to the top.
We're having some lunch here at the Mars Grill, and it says the last food for 36 million miles. Oh, they're so funny. This section is called Space Shuttle Park, but it looks like they're fixing a lot of this, but we'll go down and take a quick look. Looks like they got lots of boxes and pieces back to put back together. This gives you a little view of how big the space shuttle would be. I've actually been in one out in California at the Ronald Reagan Museum, and you could walk through one of them. This just sort of gives you an idea of how big it is, though, so kind of cool. Wish there wasn't so much crap all along the way. But you gotta make renovations every once in a while.
It was a good feeling.
That was our countdown to blastoff. We hope you had fun exploring everything from underground to outer space here at Cathedral Caverns, and, as always, we'll see you down the road.